Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Now here's a funky beat.
A man has a job. He's not a criminal who goes around scrolling on the subways.
Now here's a scratch beat.
I'm a graffiti writer. I'm an artist. I don't just throw up little tags all over the place. I make them trains beautiful.
Put it all together and make it complete.
When you won't even come see what I do.
Beat Street, the king of the beat. You see him rocking that beat from across the street. And Beat Street is a lesson too, because you can't let the streets beat you.
I think the phenomenon itself is yet to be defined. Somehow it's a curious link between the energies of a youth someplace who have decided that what exists for them socially is unacceptable. It doesn't take them to where they want to go. And as a consequence, that sense has been picked up by youth elsewhere.
Previous to Beat Street being released, those outside of the tri-state area, we really didn't know there was no hip-hop culture yet.
The new sound of the 80s. Suddenly you hear it everywhere. Rap music.
People got to understand that hip-hop culture is more than just rap. Because that's where it all got lost.
Run DMC had a song where they said, you will hear these things that are adjacent to the music, but you don't really know how they fit together. You see all the elements at play. You know, you see the MC, you see the DJ, you see the graffiti on the trains and other places. So Beat Street was really like an education for the rest of us. Oh, this is what hip hop is.
So when Beat Street, it was the first like real feature film, big production deal. Mr. Belafonte was executive producer. You know, it was such a mega move for motion picture hip hop, I call it.
I thought we'd stop dancing on the sidewalk for pennies.
Mom, you made $46 last time.
The money is not the issue, Lee.
The whole hip-hop culture is really quite anti-dope, anti-violent. It's a very creative thing that goes on, and I think it's a wonderful thing that young people have gravitated to. I thought the film should really be a source of information, not only to those who would be curious about what is this phenomenon that's hit the world, but to really get an in-depth look at the people who were relegated to a life of hopelessness, helplessness, sometimes a heavy combination of the two, who have not only survived but brought to the world a very positive energy.
It's been my dream to play in a band in New York City. This ain't New York, this the Bronx.
A lot of these people that were producing and that was involved in this project, they didn't really know about hip-hop. They didn't know about the culture. They didn't know about the dress and the dancing, the graffiti, the music, the rapping. They didn't know about the DJ. They had no clue. So with that, they actually looked towards us for guidance.
They just wanted to have the best. The rapping, it had the cream of the crop. It had the first generation rappers. The DJs, the first generation DJs. The B-boys, the first generation B-boys. The graffiti wasn't done by graffiti artists. It was done by union artists. But the authenticity of the other elements, which is breaking and rapping and DJing, were right on point.
Where'd you find the kid?
I found him in the streets of New York. With a handful of professionals that are in the film, because of the discipline of film which required that. Almost all of the film is made up of the young people who have come out of the ghetto and out of the Bronx, who are real breakers, real rappers.
We had street credit. The New York City Breakers, the Rocksteady crew, Dynamic Rockers, and so on and so on and so on. All these crews had street credit.
So we was able to put a lot of input in the movie, a lot of our input on how we live, our lifestyle. So we was able to order the clothes that we usually wear, you know, use some of the slang that we use.
Yo, what's up? Yo, man, y'all biters. All your homeboys are biters. Yo, wax, so what's up with that? All your moves ain't worth the bit. So what's up with that, pong?
It kind of worked out for us because we was just acting to be ourselves.
Little brother, this here is the big time.
Roxy's having auditions next Tuesday, my man. We gonna get you in here, mark my word.
When the first audition was being held, it was being held in a high school by my house. And nobody that didn't go to that school could be allowed in for the first audition. All the kids that went to that school wanted me to be a part of it. So what they did was they approached the principal and they explained to him, hey, this is the guy that you have to have here. This guy was the one that brought it to our neighborhood. He's the one that started doing the dancing, got us into dancing. You know, we feel that he should be a part of this audition. So they was able to give me a special pass after school to go to the audition, which was in the gymnasium after school in the high school, and everything went from there.
Roxy, Roxy, yeah. Don't play.
Robert Taylor's character Lee on Beat Street and the rebelliousness of him. You know, he wanted to follow his big brother, was a little too young. Mother tried to keep him back from it. Didn't understand that, look, I'm trying to protect you because the streets are nasty. You know, he's just thinking like a lot of us think our parents just don't want us to go out and have fun and be ourselves.
If my son says he was dancing, that's what he was doing. And if you're gonna arrest people for dancing, maybe you're the one who needs some advice. Because there are a lot worse things these kids could be doing than dancing. That I know.
I think a lot of people, again, in and outside of hip hop, identify with him and wanting to go and live his life, but, you know, being young enough where his mother still, you know, had that power over him to be the protector. So that resonated with all of us.
You can keep your dreams, gentlemen, but get something to fall back on.
Give it up to me, baby, to the beat street.
Yo, Charlie. Yo, what's happening, ladies?
Arthur Baker, a pioneering producer in hip-hop and electro, played a crucial role in shaping the Beat Street soundtrack, blending raw street energy with polished studio production. His work helped define the film's sound, bridging the gap between hip-hop's underground roots and its growing mainstream appeal.
When we get to the Roxy's tonight, Beat Street Breakers gonna kick some ass. Yo, Ramo, when you gonna teach me that style, man?
I'll practice up on it.
Merry Christmas, New York.
Check it out, man. Island.
Yo, man, you see that there? That is your baddest burner, man. That is my favorite right there.
It's all right.
I think Ramo's character resonated because you could identify with him even if you weren't into hip hop. You know, he had real life problems.
Is your daddy, huh?
The pressure of, hey, you got to get a real job.
What are you doing? Come on, stop! Please, don't do this. Yo, man, stop, man. What are you
But he had this thing that he loved, and it seemed like the world was against him and thinking that it wouldn't work. So I think that was very identifiable to most people.
You can see how bad it is here. Ramon, take us somewhere.
I got no place to take you.
Please, Ramon. We'll be together.
Where?
Anywhere.
I think that Ramo's struggle is the struggle of every young man against an authoritarian father. And like a lot of the young men that I met and a lot of people from New York, you grew up in a certain environment or in a certain kind of household and you're ready to throw down.
Jean Chartier was one of only a few professional actors cast in the film, as the producers believed the presence of professionals would ensure a strong dramatic narrative that would resonate with mainstream audiences.
I auditioned for it. What more can I say? Yeah, I was lucky. I got lucky.
The opportunity that we had was amazing because it allowed, you know, somebody that did not know our culture versus somebody that lived in the grind of the culture and to partner with each other, and we became friends on set.
Yeah. It's an incredible culture, and I am very lucky to be able to absorb from the people around me. Bill Blast Cordero was my teacher in graffiti. And so he took me up to the projects and he said, you know, have you ever written on a train before? And I said, no. And he said, have you ever written on a wall before? And I said, no. He says, where are you going to today? He was a big influence on me in the scene. And I took pieces from people, you know, as you do when you're an actor.
Ramo's fate was immortalized in the Notorious B.I.G. song, Hold Your Head.
And it was one of the most memorable scenes. That was a heartbreaking scene in that movie.
I want to thank you so much for doing the movie Beat Street, for not only for what it means to those of us who just want to watch it for entertainment purposes, but so many kids out there. I mean, it gives them a sense of hope. It's wonderful.
those Shaw Rock recently and Debbie D.
When Beat Street came out, it allowed a global platform. And that's why I take my hat off to Harry Belafonte, because he's the catalyst of Beat Street. He purposely combined downtown with uptown.
I would never believe that to this day, 40 years later, that it's one of the most important films ever. It really inspired a lot of people, and a lot of people that are famous, like famous rappers, DJs, this film inspired them to get into it.
To be here tonight with these legends, it's just, I got lucky, you know?
I was just looking for something, you know, to stay out of trouble, something that I was good at, you know, and I just was lucky enough to find something. And I was even more blessed that it went somewhere further than I would ever have imagined.